Hey friends, welcome back to Llama Mama Kayla's Yarn Tube. Yes, I said yarn tube. I plan to do some crocheting this week. So anyway, I'm Kayla and I thank you for being here today. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out with me. I love hanging out with you guys, and so I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I'm having a really good day, so let's make the best of our day. I hope you're having good weather and all that kind of stuff. So look what Michael's has. This is called the Yarnspirations Bernat all-in-one granny square blanket. Okay, they have several different colors, probably about 8 to 10 different colorways. This particular one is called Throwback, and it just gives me retro vibes. Right, they do have one that's called Retro, but this one gave me the retro vibes. When I saw it, I knew that I loved that one, and it just said, you know, 70s to me. I grew up in the 70s, and yeah, that just speaks 70s to me, everything about it. In our home, when I was a child, I can just see all these colors in our home when I think about it, from dishes to the table to the flooring to our couch and just everything. I just see these colors. Anyway, so let's talk about this yarn for a little bit. This is a 6 bulky yarn, and it recommends you use an 8mm hook, and I have my 8mm finger hook here. And this is 178 yards, and if you want to know that in anything else, it's 8.5 ounces, 240 grams, 163 millimeters, I don't know which. It's just got one M. Anyway, this is 100% polyester. And so, you know, they have these granny square yarns. They've had some in the past. Red Heart had some. I don't know if anyone else did or not, but I just don't understand how these are ever to work out, because to me, everyone's tension is different. So it may or may not work out. I don't know. I'm not planning on doing a bunch of these squares. At this moment, right this second, at 2 minutes and almost 3 minutes in, I'm not planning on doing a bunch of these squares. I'm planning on doing a continuous square, and I was kind of toying back and forth between doing a rectangle or a square blanket, but I think I'll just do a square and make it simple and easy. So this is supposed to be the all-in-one. You're supposed to be able to work this up, and it completes that square. You cut it, you start another square, and they're all supposed to look like this. We'll see if that would even happen with me, but I just don't expect it to. Anyway, so that's what this yarn is. It tells you over here that you would need 3 balls to make a little baby blanket, 5 balls to make a little bit bigger blanket. So we'll just see. We will see. But anyway, I'm going to kind of get started on this, starting with the peachy color, which I do like. Let's just see how this goes. All right. I'm going, yeah, I'm using an 8mm hook, just like it says on the packaging. Now I'm going to like chain, maybe 4. I think I usually do 3, but since this is such a bulky yarn, I think I'm going to do 4. And then I'm going to slip stitch back into the first and pull that through, and then slip stitch on into that. All right, so here's where we're going to get started. Now, do you know how to make a granny square? I'm going to kind of go slow on this to get started, but also I have some links in the description box under this video. Gosh, I hope I remember to do that, with some, you know, tutorials of slow making a granny square. Okay, so I chained 3, and I'm gonna go back into the center right here and do a double crochet. So I have my chain 3 and the double crochet, and I'm going to do another double crochet, and so that all makes up my little cluster there, or shell if you would call it. Okay, so then I'll chain 2, and then I'm going to put 3 double crochets into the center circle space here. So that's 1 and 2. And this makes 2 double crochets. And 3 double crochets, so I'm going to chain 2 again. Okay, and then I'm going to put 3 more double crochets right back into this. Okay, that's 2. I need 1 more. Okay, I gotta lay it down for a second. I gotta lay it down just for a second there. So we have a cluster, 2 chains, a cluster, a 2 chain space, oh, right there, and then a cluster. So I need to do a chain 2 space, and now I've got to put 3 double crochets back into this, and I'm just trying to spread it apart just a little bit, scoot that over a little. Okay, now I'm going to put my 3 double crochets right here. I'm going to take this yarn back here, this tail, and kind of pull it over there out of my way, because it was wanting to come up with my yarn. Oh, I messed that one up. So I'm going to pull that out. I only have 1 double crochet here, so I need to put 2 more. And I know I didn't go really slow on this, but I am going to try my best to remember to leave some links in the description box below of how to make a granny square. Okay, so now I've got that chain 3 plus the 2 double crochets, so that counts as like 3. I have my chain 2 space here, 3 double crochets, chain 2 space here, 3 double crochets, a chain 2 space there, and then 3 double crochets. So I've got to do a chain 2, and then we're at the end of our square. So I'm going to slip stitch over here. You can try to do it on your chain 3, or you can do it in your second double crochet. That's what I normally do mine kind of on. Oh, we're just slip stitching. I don't know, I was putting another double crochet. That was not what I meant to do. I'm just going to go into that second double crochet that I already made there. I skipped my chain 3, and I just put mine in that second one, because to me it kind of takes the square and just kind of squares it up a little bit, instead of it splaying out like that. It just kind of squares it up. So you don't have to do that, but that's just what I do. Okay, so we have this little square now. Can you see the square? We have a corner here. We have a corner here, a corner here, a corner on this side, and a corner up here. So we have 4 corners, and we have our cluster, 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 and cluster. So that is the beginning of the granny square. Now look, so far, look, so they had us to slip stitch into this. Now we're to keep going to do the next round. We don't cut the yarn. We're going to slip stitch over into the next well, let me see my slip stitch. I must have went too far over to slip stitch over. Let me see. Okay, that would be my second one. Okay. I slip stitched all the way over to the third one on that one. But I'm going to come back and slip stitch right here into this one. Okay, and then slip stitch into that, what would be that next double crochet. Depending on where you slip stitch, if you slip stitch into your chain 3, then you got to slip stitch 2 times over. Or if you went into the second, you slip stitch 1 time over. And then slip stitch into the corner. Okay, now we're almost to the pink. This kind of combines the pink and orange together right here, actually. So we're gonna go, I'm gonna chain my 3. Okay, and then do my 2 double crochets. And then another double crochet. Well, let me do it again. So to start this next round, I did chain 3 and then I did 2 double crochets. So let me pull some yarn out. Give myself some yarn to work with. Okay, so now that's the first part of the corner. So I'm going to chain 2 and do 3 more double crochets into that same corner area. Okay, that's 2. And then 1 more. Alright, and so that's the round 2 first corner. 3 double, well, it's a chain 3, 2 double crochets. Chain 2 for another corner for the next round. And then 3 double crochets. Now, some people chain 1 in between the clusters and corners and all that, and some people don't. I do. There's no right way or wrong way. It's whatever you prefer. So I chain 1, but see, how is that going to affect the yarn if you chain 1 or if you don't chain 1? I don't know. I think so many people just crochet so many different ways, and like I said, everyone's tension is different, so I don't see how this actually works out, but we're going to go along with it because I don't plan to do a bunch of those squares anyway. I plan to do just a continuous blanket. Okay, so I'm going to back up now because I feel like I might poke you in the eye. But I have my 3 double crochets, and then I'm going to chain 2 and do my other corner part. So I'm gonna back up though, because I don't want to poke anybody in the eye, and plus I need a drink of tea. I got my sweet tea in my Llama Mama Kayla sunflower mug that Big Daddy got me for Mother's Day a few years ago. Probably about 3 years now. I've had that mug a while. Alright, so I chained 2, and now I'm just going to go ahead and start my other part of that corner. So each corner is 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, all in the one corner piece. So that's 1. 2. No, this is 2. I got ahead of myself there. And this is the 3rd double crochet for that, so all right. Okay, so that's what the second row is looking like. Here's the first row, and then we came up. You see this little where we came up to the next row. All right, now I'm going to chain. I'm going to pull some yarn out first. How about that? Okay. Now, let's see. I need to chain 1. And then go over here to this corner, right here. And put in 3 double crochets. The only time you chain 3 is when you're jumping up to a new row. So I put in my 3 double crochets for the first part of the corner. Okay, so I have my 3 double crochets, and then I'm going to chain 2, and you can see my thing is kind of curved. My blanket here, this blanket, it's a little bit curved, but it's going to be okay. It'll straighten out as I get going. Okay, so now chain 2. Now I need to do 3 more double crochets for the second part of the corner. I'm anxious to see, is my round here, the second round, going to end at the end of this pink? That's what I got going on. Is it going to... Now look, okay, see how they joined the yarns? That's interesting. Okay. Alright, so did I chain 1 yet? I think I did. I chained 1. Now it's time to jump over to this corner and do 3 double crochets in that corner. Okay, so we have 3 double crochets for the first half of the corner, chain 2, and then I'll do the second part of the corner. Now this is kind of a hard part for me as I start a project, because I don't really have a lot to hold a project with, and just trying to hold this down as I get going is a little challenging for me, but I'm trying my best to make it work. Holding on to the project the best I can, but once I get going and get a few rounds in, it will get easier for me on that part anyway. Okay, I gotta do 1 more double crochet to finish off that corner. Okay, All right, and then I need to chain one, and I'm gonna connect it over here, but I'm just gonna kind of pull this out, make that lay flat, see what I got going on here. Alright, so I did chain one. Now I need to slip stitch over here, and I'm going to slip stitch in the second. Right, I'm trying to get it to the right place. I'm going to slip stitch in my second double crochet, because, well, the first one was a chain, 3, then it was 2 double crochets. So I'm going to that first double crochet that I actually did, and then slip stitch into the other double crochet, and then I need to slip stitch into this hole over here, that corner. Alright, so now I'm ready to crochet the next round. Well, so far it is ending correctly. So they might be proving me wrong, but I'm just thinking, you know, I don't know. I just think we all crochet different and our tension is different. So I'm like, how is this possibly going to work? But it might work. We're going to see. We ain't got to the end yet, right? Okay, so I'm already in this corner ready to go. And when we start a new row, we chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And that stands for the first double crochet of our cluster. So now we just do 2 more, and that counts as 1. Okay, so you getting it? And I'm going to say Yarn Inspirations, Bernat Yarn is, they making me eat my words, okay? Because so far, this is working out just as they said it would. I'll be. Okay, chain 2. And I'm going to do this all the way around. We'll show you something, you know, tell you a little different, because this side's got, the more you go, the more holes you got. So I'm working on the second half of that corner. And I know a lot of you already know how to do this, but I just wanted to help out anyone who doesn't know, and just talk through it as I was, you know, getting started on that. But now we're good. Okay, so I have my chain 1, then 2 double crochets. Not chain. Yeah, chain 3. 2 double crochets, the chain 2 space, and then my 3 double crochets. Now we have a space here in the middle. So I'm going to chain 1, do 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then I'll be back to a corner. Each time you do it, you're going to have more. Like the next row, I'll have 2 of these spaces in between the corners. So each time it just grows and gets more spaces. Okay, so chain 1, my double crochets, and some people call these a shell, some people call them a cluster, some people might just say 3 double crochets. So just to, you know, let you know different terms that people might use that means the same thing. But they might also say a shell if they were doing 5 double crochets, like on a border or something. So it still can get confusing. But in just making granny squares, you're only doing 3 double crochets. Okay, so I chained 1, and I'm gonna go in this corner and do my next corner. So have any of you tried this Bernat blanket, granny square blanket yarn. Okay, so I'm going to be very honest. I saw this in Michael's on a video that you haven't seen yet. It will be coming out soon. It's scheduled to go up. I saw this yarn. I looked at it, showed all the colors and such, and I didn't get it. I didn't buy the yarn. I just looked at it, and I just said, you know, I just didn't think it would work out that way. And so later, a couple days after that video, well, maybe 1 day, 2 days, I don't know, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, you know, I want to do just a continuous granny square blanket using that yarn and not try to make the squares. And so I got online, because if you order online at Michael's right now, you get 35% off of every item. But then you either have to go pick it up or have it delivered to you or shipped to you. But I didn't want to pay for shipping or a delivery person and all that, so I just went up there and picked it up. So I did buy mine it was right now, actually, this week, there's 35% off every item. I do believe. Yes, I got 35% off. So I paid for it, and then I waited a few minutes. It wasn't very long at all. They sent me a text saying that my order was ready to be picked up. And so I bebopped on up there and went in the store and looked around, and I checked out, and I got in my car, and I was driving off, turning back onto the highway, and then I was like, I didn't get my bag. I didn't get the stuff I had ordered. So I just made the loop, turned into the next parking lot, which is connected to that one, and drove back around, got out, went in, and got my bag off the shelf. And I stood there, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and there was no employees up there. There was another customer doing the self-checkout, and she said, I hadn't seen anyone either. And so I was just like, well, I kind of walked around the front of the store, looked over around the jewelry area to see if they were working over there, because sometimes they do. I didn't see anyone, and I said, well, I paid for it, so I'm out of here. And so I kind of held my bag up, showing that I was walking out with a bag, and I left. And I walked really slow to my car, and then I sat in my car for a minute in case anybody wanted to come ask me anything, but nobody came. So, I don't know. Anybody could go in and pick up those orders. Like, even when I pick up orders and I say, you know, I picked up my order, they're like, okay, thanks, you know, you're good. They don't ever ask to see my ID. So anybody could really pick up those orders. I guess. I did today. Nobody said anything to me. Nobody was even up there. Okay, now I'm going to flatten this out just a minute and also just give my hand a break, and I'm going to drink a little sip of tea. And that's what I have going on. I have the peach, the pink, and the green. So I'm going to pull out more green. I guess I could pull it out all the way to the next row. Huh. Yeah. So we got this green. Did I chain one yet? I think I did. Okay. And on this, I don't necessarily feel like I need to chain one, but I already started it, so I'm going to keep going with the flow and doing it the way I'm doing it. Okay. All right. Got my cluster done. Now, chain 1. Yeah, if anybody has bought this yarn before, I'm interested in which colorway you purchased. And if you did a bunch of squares and put them together to make a blanket, or what did you do with it? Alright, I got halfway on this corner. I still got to do the other half, but I just needed to rest my hand a minute. Alright. Chain 2. Have 2 more rounds to be finished with this square. This particular, square. Okay. I messed up a little bit. I accidentally went into... No, it was in the right spot. It just looked like it was wrong. Huh. I had it in the right spot. But at a glance, it looked like I went into the next stitch. Okay. Well, come on, get back on there. And now... Alright, so now it's time to connect, and I'm going to skip that chain 3. Actually, I'm going to find my 2 double crochets and go into the second one. So it's after the chain 3, but before the last double crochet. And then slip stitch into this next one. And then slip stitch into the corner. Okay. I messed up this corner right here, so I got to go back, pull it out. And it is good to look at all your corners before you move on. I could immediately tell that was stretched way out of whack. So this corner's good, that corner's good, and this corner is good, but this corner I only did half of it. And then I jumped to the next one. I gotta come back and do this. So, see, we all make mistakes, and I don't cut out mistakes because I'm not perfect, and I'm not trying to pretend like I'm perfect, so I don't ever edit out mistakes. I own up to them. Okay. Now, all right, now the second half of that corner is done. Okay. Now chain 1. And then we got to do our little cluster back in this chain 1 space here. Uh-oh. I'm jumping into the orange. Gold. Uh-oh. Well, Bernat, I apologize to you for saying that it wasn't going to work. And now it's not working. I'll take that apology. Okay. Oh, Bernat. Let me go check my email and see if they sent me an apology back. So since I used up that yarn, is that going to mess up the next round? Because the next round will be the orange. This is gold right here. The next round will be that orangey salmon color, I guess. Now, is it going to mess that up since I already used some of this on this round? Let me just double check everything. So I started over here, have my 3 space 3, chain space 3, chain. Okay, I was just making sure I was good before I start the next row. What are you guys thinking? Tell me your thoughts. Okay, I'll chain 3. And one more for the first half of that corner. And then chain 2. And 3 double crochets there for the second half of that corner. Okay, and then on this round, you see we have 2 spaces here to put a cluster of 3, a cluster of 3, and then a corner. So each time you go around, you're going to get another cluster here. Right now, we have a space here, space, space, and a space. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. The 2 corners, and we have a space in between on each side of this cluster. Okay. Alright, I like this goldy color. It's kind of a yellow gold, very retro. Okay, so I just need to chain 1, jump over to the next space. Alright. So what have you guys been up to? We can chat now. What have you been up to and what's been going on with you guys? Did you have a good weekend? How's your week starting off? I had a really good weekend, and then my week is starting off very well. Very well. I'm happy to be spending time with you guys. The only thing about my week is Paige is not coming this week. She is on a cruise, having the time of her life, I hope. I hope she's having a time of her life and just having a good time. Both her daughters went, her best friend of many years, and some other friends. Like, there's a whole group of them that went on this cruise, and I know they're having a good time. I'll miss her, though, this week. I will miss her, but I'm glad she got to go on this cruise. All right, so it's time to get another corner done. This isn't the last row. There's one more row after this color. Talked to my son Dakota a little bit ago. He is hosting Thanksgiving this year. He did last year also, and it was fantastic. He and Carlton are excellent hosts, and it was so good last year. Carlton made a sweet potato casserole that was out of this world. It was more like a dessert. It was so good. And I asked Dakota, is Carlton going to make that sweet potato casserole again? And he said yes. And he's making a separate one for you. I think he might have put, on the one last year, I think it might have had like a crunchy crumble on top, or either some pecans or something. And I just took a spoon and just kind of raked them off. But he said he was making a separate one. He was making two of them this year, one for everybody else and one for me. And I said, oh, and I get the leftovers to bring home? And Dakota said, yeah. Because it was so good. So I'm glad that they are, making something that I can eat. And then Dakota is also making deviled eggs. He makes the best deviled eggs. Oh my gosh, he knows how to season them just right. And he is going to make deviled eggs, which we always give him that job. Sometimes Big Daddy tries to make them, and we're just like, So I tell Big Daddy he can boil the eggs, but Dakota's going to make them. And then he gets all offended. But we're all in agreement. Dakota has to make the deviled eggs. But anyway, they'll be making them at their house, and we're going to their house to eat, so it don't matter. Big Daddy don't have a chance to try to make them. But anyway, he's making the deviled eggs, and then he's making me just some of the devil part, I guess. The part to cream up and then put in the shell of not the shell, but the half of the egg. He'll make me just a bowl of that. So that'll be good. Yeah, I'll love that. Just having, a little serving of that for me. So I can't wait for next week. I said, oh, is it this week? Hopefully it's this week. Because Dakota done made me hungry telling about what all they were fixing. Even though I can't eat half of what they're making. But, it's not all about me. I can eat, as long as I got a couple of things I could eat, I'm good. Big Daddy's going to grill meat. He will grill all the meat and take over there. So, Dakota and I do not eat the meat. Dakota's vegetarian, and I'm, you know, unable to swallow that. So, okay. And then Chastity and Elijah, they eat. I don't think they're too picky. They eat pretty good. And then Big Daddy and Carlton will eat everything. They don't, you know. So I'm looking forward to that. Especially when Dakota told me I would have the sweet potato leftovers. I thought, yeah, Carlton did make a very good sweet potato casserole last year. It was really good. And I forgot where he said he got his recipe. It was just an old recipe, I believe, that's been in his family. So I had a good talk with Dakota. We talked about a lot of stuff. Thanksgiving, Christmas, just our plans and what we have going on and doing. It was good. It was nice to talk and catch up and everything. Alright, we're about to get finished with this round. And I just have a feeling we might run out before we get to this end. I'm thinking we might. Okay, I'm going to just redo that. Oh, I slipped out. Yeah, this color totally reminds me of retro, you know, back in the day. Alright. I may have to just pause and take a little break because my hand is really hurting a lot. That looks too big to be a double crochet. I might have did it wrong. So, let me just do it again. Okay. Pull through 2. And pull through 2. I might have done that wrong. I don't know. It looks about the same. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna run out. Okay, I'm gonna take a small break here and let my hand rest, but my corners are all good. I just gotta make sure I get that corner correct, but that's all I got left, and that's not gonna make it to this corner. It's not gonna happen. Your inspirations. What you got to say about that? Ugh. Okay, guys, I had to backtrack. I did notice that in one of my corners, I only had, it was this corner here, I only had 2 double crochets and not 3. And so I just ripped it out and come back to fix it. And then when I got over here, it did start taking the green yarn to before I got to the corner. So that's it. I mean, it did. I had to slip stitch with the green yarn and then slip stitch and slip stitch over to the corner. So now I did my chain 3 up and I'm starting back with the green yarn, and I'm just going to go around and get this done and get back to where I was, or maybe even when I start back, you know, get on the salmon color. It's kind of an orangey salmon color, I guess. I don't know for sure, but that's what I'm going to call it. You can call it something else if you want to. But anyway, I'm going to just get back on here and crochet until I get back to where I was. It won't take me long to backtrack that, you know, get back there. I'd just rather fix that before I got too far. I'm glad I finally did notice it. But things like that happen, you know. Like I said, I'm human, I'm normal, I make mistakes, I'm proud of my mistakes. It does mean I'm human. Alright, so I'm going to turn the camera off and just crochet while I watch a show or something. Okay, I had just been crocheting away, and I got caught back up to where I was, and then I went ahead and started this last row of this granny square. And Sassy had come up here, and she laid all on the sorry about that. She laid all on my desk here, and she gave me this little corner right here to crochet on, because she was taking all this up. But I did snap a few pictures, and I might remember to include them at the end. But anyway, I'm almost done with this row. Now, it turned out to be a nice size granny square. But we'll talk about it some more. I keep losing that. We'll talk about it some more in a minute. But it is a nice size square. So I'm not sure how many squares it would take to make a decent size blanket. I'd have to measure this at the end when I get it finished. I'd have to measure it and then decide, you know, how long I wanted a blanket. But yeah. And then decide, you know, how many squares I needed to make a blanket that size. So we'll talk about that in a moment. I've really been enjoying my day. I was so thankful that I got to talk to my son Dakota for a good while. And, you know, hash out Thanksgiving, Christmas, and just talk about things we needed to talk about, so that we're all on the same page. We all know what everybody's doing. So I enjoy talking to him. And he is injured right now. But I'm going to tell you, I told about it in my video that's going to come out Tuesday. Okay? So my videos are kind of messed up a little bit. Like my video I recorded Saturday of me and Big Daddy out on the town all day long. It's going to be Tuesday, tomorrow, yeah. And in that video, I tell what happened to Dakota on Saturday. So check that video out. But anyway, he is injured right now, and he's not doing great from it. He's having some issues, and I'm worried about him. It will heal up, but it's just going to take a long time to heal up, I guess. But yeah, I'm worried about my boy, so it did me some good to talk to him other than text. You know what I mean? So let me share that video. It's Tuesday. It's already scheduled. It'll come out Tuesday at 3 o'clock. I schedule my videos. If I get them done ahead of time, I'm scheduling them to come out at 3, just because a lot of people put out their videos in the morning time, and so there's a lot of choices to watch in the mornings. And then in the late evenings, people, you know, there might not be as many new videos going up, and so I just wanted to offer something for, you know, the evening people to watch. And then some of my videos, depends on when I get it recorded and all that kind of stuff. So let me just say this. Okay, so my crochet videos, and I know everybody does it different, and there's no right way or wrong way to do it. I'm not saying my way is the right way or that my way is the wrong way. I just don't know. Everybody does it different. Everybody has their own styles, and that's good, because we don't want to all be alike, right? We want to all be different, be your own person. So for me, I like to crochet online. I like to crochet while you're watching me crochet, showing you that. And I'll tell you one reason why I do that is because I had some people telling me that I wasn't making my projects. There's no way you're doing that. And they accused me of somebody else crocheting, and I'm just getting their projects and showing them. Yeah, like I even know anybody who's going to give me their crochet projects to put out here, right? So I decided, okay, let me just show people I'm crocheting, because I had a lot of people saying stuff like that at one point. I know, it's crazy. So anyway, I crochet online to prove, basically I started out just to prove that I'm really crocheting. I'm not making this up. But then I enjoyed crocheting and chatting and just talking about whatever, or answering questions or whatever. I ended up enjoying doing that and just talking with you guys while I'm crocheting. So, so for me, in my crochet videos on my YouTube, I'm crocheting for all my videos, you know. All my crochet videos, I'm sitting here crocheting, whether it's crocheting a wooble or some other project or whatever, I'm crocheting on the screen as I'm talking to you. Okay. It's hard to crochet ahead of time because it's a lot of work to crochet. Okay, and so it's hard to crochet ahead of time and to get the video out by a certain, you know, whatever. So a lot of days I'm just trying my best to finish up the video, to get it out, and I might get the video finished up about 4 or 5 o'clock. And if you don't know, then you have to weld your stuff together, edit, and just do all this little stuff that you got to do to videos before you get it uploaded to YouTube. And then once you get it uploaded to YouTube, you got to type in a bunch of information, and I do have a lot of that typed and saved, so I can just copy and paste. But it's still a lot of doings you have to do to it, and answer some questions and stuff like that. And so it really can take from 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. Like if I start recording at 4, I might get that video up by about 9:30 or 10 that night. Honestly, I mean, if I get finished recording around 5, that's what I'm trying to say. If I get my video finished around 5 p.m., it's going to be about 10 p.m. before that video is public for people to watch. And so people just might not realize that it is, you know, that much work. Is this messed up? I sure hope not. It's not. It's not. It's me. I'm messed up, not the project. Anyway, And when I started, okay, so I was having a really hard time, just hurting really bad. My back, my hands, shoulders, across the top of my shoulders, my lower back, everything was really hurting really bad. And then I started doing some bead videos, doing bracelets and pins and stuff like that. And immediately I noticed it's so much easier to do those videos. I could record 5 bead videos in one day. I can't do that when I'm crocheting projects. I barely get the one project out in one day. And then I'm in awful, awful pain at the same time. So, anyway, I'm doing the best that I can, but I need to think about my body and not be so hard on my body. And the crocheting a project a day, or even working on the same project 2-3 days, but crocheting here, you know, it's really just too hard on me. But I'm crocheting. You saw me crochet this. And I'm gonna continue to do that. I'm gonna come back and show you the progress of this blanket, and I'll probably crochet some online while I'm chatting with you. But yeah, and I might elaborate on all that a little longer, a bit more at another time. But let's talk about this square. Okay, so this is supposed to produce a square that looks like this, and on this I cannot tell where they finished and jumped up to the next row or anything like that. It's flawless. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. So this is flawless on here. I cannot tell where they went to the next color. Okay, on this I can definitely tell the peach went perfect. The pink came around here, 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 and here's where I joined the next, and the green, just a little bit of pink, not much. I jumped up to this green, went all the way around the green. I got here and it changed colors to the golden yellowish color before I got to the next row. And then I had to come up and jump up and change to the yarn changed to the gold. So it started the gold on this row, jumped up to the next row and started the gold all the way around. And when I got here, I ran out of the gold and the yarn automatically changed to the salmon color. And so I did this, finished off this row with the salmon, and then it jumped up and did the salmon all the way around and finished it off. But now I have a lot of salmon left over. Well, that much. I have that much salmon left over. So I'm gonna jump up, come over here, and it would. Okay, so their idea is you're done with this one, you're starting a new one. You would start the new one with the salmon. So half of this would be in this, and the other half would be in the peach. Or you could cut that off and start with the peach, but still in the end, you might have to change colors before you finished. Not quite sure. Anyway, so my idea was not to do the individual squares and put them together. My idea was do the first square. It turns out lovely. It's nice, even though it didn't do perfect and flawless like this, because my tension is not the same as whoever did that's tension. You know, our tension's not the same. I don't feel like any crocheter, any two crocheters are going to have the exact same tension. Not that one is right and one is wrong. Everybody's is right. Whatever way and however you crochet is right for you. However I do it is right for me. And so my idea was to just continue just as it, you know, slip stitch on over, slip stitch into the corner, go up, start my next round, and do. Now, it's not going to be like this peach may not go all the way around, and it would change to the pink, and that's fine. That doesn't bother me a bit. I'm just going to let the yarn play out ever how it wants to play out. I like random. I like for the yarn to do whatever it wants to do, and I would like for it to change colors. Like the peach might make it to this end. I really don't know. It might make it to this end. It might change to the pink and make it over here, and then it might change to the green and go up and start around here, and then change to the gold, and you know, that's fine with me. I like, okay, the artsy side of me likes that. I'm not the type that likes symmetrical and everything has to be even. I'm more of an odd. I love odd stuff. Like if I'm gonna decorate a room, I'm not gonna put 4 candlesticks. I'm gonna put 3 because that's what you're supposed to do. Right? Okay, I'm just saying, I don't do symmetrical. The artsy and creative side of me is gonna be the randomness. That's the way I like it. Now, I know not everybody likes it like that. You might like it, you know, you're perfect, whatever. But I don't. I don't like it that way, so I don't crochet that way. So I know a lot of people color control with cakes, but I do not, because it's a cake for a reason. If I was going to color control it, I would just buy a roll or a skein of each color and then just do it. It's pointless to have it in a cake if you're going to color control it anyway. That's just me talking. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but you know, you might not be doing it right. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Anyway, I'm just joking. So I'm not going to cut my yarn. I'm going to keep going. And it is going to be random. It is going to be short rows of peach, a little bit longer row, or a stretch, because it won't be a whole row around. A little bit stretch of peach, a little bit longer stretch of pink, a little bit longer of green. And as this gets bigger and bigger and bigger, the peach is not going to go as far, right? And I think that's cute, and I like stuff like that. I like stuff that looks handmade, not made on a machine, and it's perfectly programmed in and produces a perfect project. I like for it to look homemade, and to me that looks more homemade. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but anyway, so I'm gonna keep going with this, and when I come back and show you this project, I will show you, you know, where I'm at. We'll remember that I did this one square, and then we'll see what I come back and show you. I know I'm going to show this on Friday because I've got some videos scheduled out, and that feels wonderful to me to have videos already scheduled out. And so I couldn't have done that with just crocheting and crocheting and crocheting. I could never get ahead to schedule any videos out. And I know a lot of people do schedule videos out, but they're not sitting there crocheting for an hour video, or, you know, 30 minutes to an hour. There's a big difference in just talking to the camera and crocheting. There's a big difference in that. The crocheting really just wears on my body, my hands, arms, shoulders, back. You know, I mean, I want to crochet. I just can't crochet for long stretches anymore. I really can't. I can't continue to do that to my body. So I'm going to crochet a few times a week, and I'm going to crochet, like, okay, on Friday I'll show you what I crocheted, but I'm going to crochet on that this week. And then Friday I'll come back and show you where I'm at and talk about it, and I'll be crocheting some more on it while we're talking. Does that make sense? So I'm not doing every stitch on camera. It'll give me some time to work on it as my body allows me. Does that make sense? Am I like talking gibberish? I might be. But in the meantime, I'm going to have some bead videos, some haul videos, some shopping videos, and stuff like that, okay? And then next week, we are going to do knitting machine. So I'm already writing this stuff down and getting it planned out. So yeah, hang in there with me, guys. I'm trying to figure out what my body can handle. And I've just been abusing it, to be honest. I have abused my body way too long trying to crochet a whole project during a video. Yeah. Even though they were small projects, just trying to crochet that whole project in a video was really hard on my body. Because even though if it turned out to be a 30-minute to an hour video, I worked on it for many hours. Like, I worked on it for a lot of hours that was not on camera, because you're not going to watch a 5-hour video, right? I don't know. Tell me if you would. No, I really am just joking. You know, nobody's going to watch a 5-hour video, so you just show clips and all. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, I don't even know what I'm saying. Hopefully you do. I love you guys, and I appreciate you all watching so very much. I'm going to be back with this project on Friday, because I want to show y'all my progress and just talk about how it's turning out and what I'm doing. That doesn't mean I'm going to crochet on it Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I'm going to crochet on it as my body allows. And then, but in the meantime, I got other videos planned. I've got my videos here planned out. So yeah, I'm on a roll, okay? I'm on a roll. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you commenting and just hanging out with me. I love you guys, and I'm excited. I'm excited to be doing something different and new on my channel. And yeah, it is what it is. Because I'm doing, you know, the best that I can and everything that I can. Alright guys, I will see you tomorrow's video. And that video is me and Big Daddy take on the town. It's a shopping vlog. We filmed it on Saturday. We spent the whole day in town. I don't even know how we did that physically. And then during that day, found out Dakota got injured. And I do include that information and stuff in that video. So watch that tomorrow, Tuesday. Alright guys, love you all. Remember, it's a beautiful day to crochet. I don't care what kind of weather you're having. It's a beautiful day to crochet and work on any other project that brings you happiness. Whether it be diamond painting or stirring a stick in a mud puddle. If you enjoy doing it, go for it. Have fun. Make it the best day you can.